My name is Sandra Davis, and I am the curator of Pull Up a Chair. So I consider myself a full-time artist, although I have a 9-to-5 job. I work for Bank of America as a sales associate, working with the commercial business banking group. But I've been an artist for as long as I can remember. So I consider myself a full-time artist, yes. So I have a home studio where once my two sons moved out, I took over the basement, which normally would have been their playroom, but now it's my art room and studio space. So Pull Up a Chair was something that I thought about back in 2020 as we were heavy into the pandemic. We were all looking for ways to connect with one another and to have real conversations. And so the phrase pull up a chair actually sort of generates that invitation. So I want you to pull up a chair, sit down and talk to me. And I sort of wanted to be able to experience through an art project, how can we get artists to create something on a physical chair that would actually lead into a conversation. So this version of Pull Up a Chair, mental health, mental illness, mental wellness seems to be the topic of the day. And again, if I invite you to sit down to talk to me, I want to talk to you about your experience. But maybe we need a softer or easier way for that conversation to begin. So if you see this crazy punked out chair, lots of colors, what's going on, what was this artist thinking, that's my way to get you to come in and chat with me, where the conversation may start with the application of the chair itself. It can actually lead into other areas to talk about your mental wellness. So for me, my experience with mental illness or mental health actually stems from my spouse. We've been married for 41 years, actually 42 years, almost 43. And being the support person for my husband through his journey, we're still on that journey. We've learned different ways to cope and manage through. And a lot of it has come through collaboration through our art practices. He's a photographer. He's a big part of this Pull Up a Chair project. And we find the more we collaborate, the more conversations we're having, and then we can support one another through this process. So working for Bank of America, we do have an excellent health and wellness through our benefits. We are allowed wellness days if we need to take them. The bank does a great job of having healthcare available to us. And I feel like I'm really, really fortunate to be able to take advantage of those resources. Also through connections through my husband, therapist, and then just having really, really good family around me where we talk to one another about some of the things that we are going through. Currently, I have senior parents. My mom is experiencing dementia issues. Learning how to cope, learning how to have those conversations with her, and just kind of everyday experiences. People feel comfortable and open to talk about some of the experiences that they're having. So as you can see, both chairs are, the chair itself is the same. The base of the chairs are exactly the same. And I wanted to sort of portray sort of a manic situation where things are bright, things are happy, things are colorful, and you're feeling good about whatever's happening. You can't stop moving, music sounds good, food tastes good, everything's great. And so the first chair is relating to a manic situation. My blue chair on this side, I used several versions of blues and black and gray fabric. And because everybody's experience is different, the patchwork on this chair is different as well. Top stitching, fabric scraps, and then I centered in the very, very middle a safety net. Oftentimes, people who are experiencing a mental health crisis may not feel like they actually have a safety net. And sometimes that safety net is your therapist, is your family, is a friend, is a spouse. And so I wanted to portray, even though both chairs are the exact physical the same, the experiences are different. I started both chairs probably back in March and got down to the finish line about a couple of days ago. So I would say about eight to 9 months. Yes and no. So part of the photo shoot and the interview process, we wanted the artist to portray what their chairs were saying. And so I'm in a basic white shirt, denim pants to kind of complement the blue chair. And the manic chair, I did have an outfit actually selected, but it was just a little too much. So I thought maybe I would only do that in the photo shoot and not during the interview. But I think oftentimes we do dress up to hide what we're feeling or experiencing. So the dressing up part, I feel, is a way that folks cope with maybe going through a mental health episode. So there was some intentionality around what I wanted to wear, but I also didn't want to take away from what the chairs had to say. So I do sell my work. Oftentimes it's a little more conceptual versus mass produced, but I do have a website, imagerybydavis.com. And you can reach me at imagery.davis@gmail.com. That's the plan. Not quite sure what the topic will be, but we want to continue inviting artists from the area. There's so many different topics to talk about. I feel like the Pull Up a Chair could be an annual project, and want to invite as many artists who want to participate throughout the Maryland, DC, and Virginia area. So yeah, maybe 2024, there'll be a Pull Up a Chair 3.0. I guess what I want people to take from the Pull Up a Chair project is really that it's okay to talk about how you're feeling. Whether you're mad at somebody, whether you're sad, whether you're excited that something amazing has happened, whatever the situation is, my goal is for you to feel comfortable to talk about it. We have friends at work that we talk to. We have family members, we have siblings, we have best friends that we grew up since elementary school. Really just take a minute, not send a text, not even a phone call sometimes, but be in person, sit down and have a conversation. That's what I want people to take from this.